welcome back to Words with Wayman. I am your host, as always, Matt Wayman. Support us on the internet, Words with Wayman on Facebook, Words with Wayman on Twitter. Thank you all so much for tuning back in. We got a special part 2, founding member of the agency, stand-up comic, improv comic, actor, really good friend of mine, Mr. Robert Abbott.
Hello.
Yeah. I think when we first started talking on the last episode, we were talking about a lot about improv and stuff like that, and improv and stand-up. And I guess now I want to talk a little bit about something we recently did. We recently got a chance to shoot a short film that we had both worked on writing the script for, and you were the main actor in it. And it was kind of like the first time we'd ever even done anything like that.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience for sure.
It was super fun. We shot it in 2 days over a weekend. I took a couple days off work, directed it, and basically how it came to be was we'd been shooting all of these sketches and stuff for the agency, and we kind of just wanted another longer outlet for something that we wanted to do.
For sure. It was, we filmed for Saturday, Sunday, and we're all just dog-tired at the end.
So tired.
Yeah, we were talking, man, just can't wait to start writing. You know, you get that buzz. You feel like you want to write the next one right then.
Oh, absolutely. If you could even get up off the couch to even muster the energy to do something like that. But I thought it was so cool, mainly because I feel like me and you from the beginning had worked really well together, which is why the improv, I think, when we do it is so fun together. But I feel like we really came into the element when we started shooting that thing.
Yeah, for sure.
It just came together. And,
it clicked really well.
And I thought it was cool to showcase your acting ability, which I think is so brilliant, the way that you play characters in such a phenomenal way that I even look on him like, I don't even know. Some of the choices you make when you play these characters are so strong.
Thank you.
But I thought it was cool because, when you see a sketch, you're like, are they playing themselves or are they playing a character? But, in a short film like this, they're absolutely playing a character.
Yeah, yeah. And it's, we try to film a lot of short videos, with us writing each other, how we see each other and stuff like that, and play close to the chest for sure. But with the short film, it's cool kind of getting lost in that character for a while.
I feel like it was a culmination too of all the things that we've been trying to accomplish and trying to get done. But it was even me and you, I think we put in 3 till 2 a.m. nights of just slamming a bunch of beers, just trying to get the screenplay punched up to something that we even thought would be cool enough to shoot.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. That was a great night.
That was a fun couple nights of getting super weird in my old apartment. But yeah, like I said, even after that, it's getting edited right now. We're getting ready to submit it to some film festivals and stuff, but it's just so cool. It's just a feeling I feel like I've never had before.
You have such a feeling of accomplishment afterwards. And like we were talking earlier, it could be shitty,
Yeah. Worst case scenario, we learn a bunch of stuff not to blow it on the next time.
Exactly. Yeah. And you just try to get that one.
Oh, don't shoot outside in the snow. Maybe that'll be probably... Don't write a scene that you have to shoot outside even though it's snowing. I think it's probably one of the biggest things I learned based off that.
Hey, that's Denver weather for you, though,
seriously.
Right?
It was an apocalyptic storm the one weekend that we decided. It was nice every other weekend, but we decided to shoot the short film, and it's snow. But now it's going into black and white, and the snow is going to make it look cool.
Yeah.
Or it does make it look cool from the scenes that I've seen that we've been editing.
For sure.
Yeah, that was so cool for us to be able to do that. I mean, I think it was one of those things that we wanted to do before this thing kind of came to an end, because the agency is, not coming to an end in a sense is by any means literally, but I'm moving back to St. Louis in September, so.
Definitely. We're going to try to get you back out here as much as possible.
Come back out to Denver, shoot some stuff.
Yeah. No, it'll be good. It is one. Yeah, we try to, when we were first talking about the agency and stuff too, we both had the same mindset of, try to do a video every week or every 2 weeks, and eventually get to, longer films for sure.
I looked at it after we did it the first year, and we had shot 24 videos, which is one more than every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but a lot of work, too.
3 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, even how hard was that,
I know.
We ran still do run a weekly show at Voodoo every Saturday night, which we produce new sketches and videos for. Mm-hmm. But it's you think it's... I thought that show was going to be impossible when we first started it.
Yeah. It was... There's a lot of tech and stuff, and
you were the tech head on that, which rules.
Well, yeah, I would just learn at Voodoo. That's where our weekly show is.
Voodoo Comedy Playhouse down at 22nd and Larimer in Denver, Colorado. For the people out there that don't know where it's at,
just putting the time in on the tech board and just kind of piecing the whole show together for
because
sure.
it's a super tech heavy show. Basically, for the people out there that don't know, basically what we do is we do a group opener, and then we play video that we shoot, and then we bring a stand up, we play another video, we do a sketch, we do another stand up, same format to the end where we have a headliner.
Yeah, it's
an ADD show.
Yeah, it really is. It's good though because oh man, we've written a lot of bad sketches. So
oh god, and there's been
we'll just get right into a good video afterwards.
Oh yeah, it totally takes the mindset off the fact that sketch was super aggressive.
Yeah,
sexually probably for because everybody, for the people that don't know, you start writing sketch as a stand-up is mainly some sexually aggressive baloney, but then you get to the stuff that actually matters.
Right.
But I mean, that was a show that we created together with the agency that we'd never seen before. I'm sure it'd been done before. I'm sure the form has been run, but something that I'd never seen before, which was the stand-up video sketch.
I remember when we first put that show on, people were pretty interested in it just based on the fact that it was something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I mean, there's several other sketch shows that go on in town.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that by any means we even started anything like that, but I do think, our presence out there as a sketch group.
We did get the 2015 award for best sketch group in Colorado.
Can we get some respect from the community?
I think we're the only person or the only team in the category.
We were the only active team in the category.
Yeah. There were two other teams that hadn't performed in about a year and a half.
If we would have lost that, it would have crushed me so hard to the inside.
It would have been a pretty big. Hey, well, stick to your software renewals job.
But but you do need those little bumps along the way, and we're more of the fact where we operate completely outside of other channels that some other comedians go towards. We just do all of our own promotion ourselves. We do all of our content generation ourselves.
Yeah.
Which is difficult.
And that's good experience that I've learned too. Is just seeking, if you want to run an open mic, seek out a bar, request to talk to the owner, and make sure that the bar is on board, or else the show won't.
Yeah, make sure the bar is 100% on board and they like the comedy.
Or wherever you're doing it, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think people, there's some comics that talk about, if you haven't done comedy for 2 years, you shouldn't run a mic. If you haven't done comedy for this long, you shouldn't run a showcase. If you want to run a showcase, in my opinion, run a showcase and run a cool showcase. And people, it doesn't matter how long. You can get a cool crowd there as opposed to some dude that's run a show for 10 years that's terrible.
Because if it's not going to work, then it won't work, you know? But also you gain the experience from just... seeking it out.
Just don't say that you're a headliner when you only have 5 minutes, I guess. Is the real rule that only kind of, I guess in some instances, hurts comedy just a little bit. But
for sure.
Other than that, go out and do it. I mean, we run, right now, the agency runs a Thursday open mic. We have we have our weekly Saturday show. By second Monday of the month, we run a show.
Mm-hmm.
And last Tuesday of the month, we run a show.
Yeah.
And we used to run more shows.
Open mic, yeah.
Mm-hmm. We dropped... one show, we were just
worn out.
It's too much.
It was a lot.
It was just comedy was not becoming fun
everybody
anymore.
out there. I mean, Reality Bites was the show name.
Mm-hmm. It was
lasted,
such a tech-heavy show.
6 weeks. But the hardest part was just bringing all the tech there. We had 2 PAs, a projector screen.
Projector.
Yeah, I remember so many times we drove over that place with the projectors hanging out of Walter's back window.
Oh, yeah, hanging out of Walter Booth as a member of the agency's window, trying not to hit telephone poles or stuff in the alley. The premise of that show, for the listeners out there that don't know, is basically it was a live tweeting show where we would play reality TV shows and people could tweet in at it.
Shout out to Zach Welsh.
Yeah,
I think he made every single
number one fan. I still think the premise of the show is fun, and I think, but just tech-wise at the time, we weren't ready to take on something that big.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good learning experience.
Yeah, never set yourself up to take on that much tech to a specific place.
We used to have to set the projector up on these one of those big Jenga games and level it out with random Uno cards.
That would never work. The projector was underpowered, so it hurt the whole show. These little things but I mean, I guess the real message here is that if we wouldn't have taken that chance, we would have never known. Same thing with the short film.
Yeah, definitely. And after you get done doing that short film, like we were talking about, it just seems you want to get right into the next one, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It inspires the writing too, because even if it's not that funny or if you're going more dramatic and it's not that good, it's still that experience, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, you know what not to mess up the next time, but we've talked about this several times off of the podcast, but it's I don't know if it's dark or not, but it's we don't know how long we're going to be here, so it's if whatever this is done, let's at least leave some lasting imprint of stuff that we've created, which is 30 plus videos now, one short film, several weekly shows that we've run, and content that we've produced that is tangible.
Yeah.
The zine.
Like the great Jay-Z quote, on to the next one.
I was not going to end this podcast until we had a Jay-Z quote. Not that we're going to end now, but this can finally come to an end.
No, but doing the short film, it's that whole new experience too, because you see how, people work with cameras, and you see the lighting, and how to, bounce lights off walls to get some effect. And
if we hadn't run our shows, we wouldn't have been able to buy the lights which lit 2 of the scenes. We wouldn't have been able to buy one of the cameras that we bought that shot when I shot myself, and then we had our cinematographer shoot every other shot, which was a completely different experience, because when we had shot previous, we were shooting on one camera, Canon T5i with a Sigma 30mm 1.4 lens and a Rode video mic for all the tech people out there that know about some of that stuff, but very basic rig.
Yeah,
like as
tripod.
basic as you can get.
Yeah.
A $5
Pretty
tripod.
much like one cut.
Yeah, one cut, pretty much one camera angle, but we used that to get really good material, because we couldn't rely on the camera angles or the tricks that make some stuff so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the first video we shot. Probably one of the better ones we've done.
Yeah.
I think we said that earlier. Maybe the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was just the one camera. Actually, Moss might have helped us out on that one. Zach Moss, for everybody out there.
He's a really good cinematographer.
Yeah.
And then that short film was so different because you had a camera guy up in your face the whole time, getting all these close angles where he's literally 3 inches away from your eyeball.
Yeah, that's a good experience too, because I've never really, shot something with that much production. So, but seeing all the angles, being able to carry on the same scene with, a camera in your face this time. And it's
and memorizing scenes really quickly, which
I
think you're really fantastic at, and can still sell an emotion with just like, then you're running through lines in your head.
Yeah.
But you still know that you have to act these things out.
Right.
Because a lot of, it's 90% of it is the writing. But
it was pretty cool too, because we stuck pretty close to the script that you wrote, Wayman. And there was some improv and stuff.
That's what's so cool
there,
about having improvers on board.
Yeah. It's it definitely can create some good stuff in scenes that you didn't expect would be there. Yeah,
the B roll that is actually going to end up being like the really good A roll. I guess for how do you write? What is your writing process look like? Do you sit down at a certain point, or?
Yeah, I mean, I usually write when ideas come to my head, but there's days in the week where I'll just have a designated hour and just sit down and start writing.
So you find you produce in that hour?
Yeah, I think it's kind of one of those things that you imagine you're just getting better at it over time.
Percentage game. You hope your numbers go up a little bit.
Unlike writing every single joke out, you can kind of hit the main parts and then feel it out at the open mics.
You're a sports guy. I mean, it's it's 3 for 4 for a while, and then hopefully it's 4 for 4 or whatever. 1
all
for 4 for a long.
Practice.
It's all that for. But if you don't sit down and force yourself to write, I feel like there's some of the writers that I know that are brilliant that don't produce as much material as they should because they don't force themselves to write.
Yeah.
If you can write like when it comes to your head, great. Then you'd be a great writer when you sit down, or at least I don't know. Maybe my brain works so differently that.
That's one
different
thing I learned about help with writing sketch too. It was great having stand up and
to get the punches and to know how it's supposed to move.
Right. Just because it just helps.
Sketch to me was
writing
really hard.
Anything really,
Sketch was hard to me in the beginning. Yeah, writing anything for sure, but sketch was tough for me because like whenever I'd sit down with an idea, immediately within 5 minutes the idea would change to something completely different.
Yeah.
It's usually funnier.
Dude, a lot of times you just don't know where you're going. That's why I was always intimidated. Like if ever in college I had to like write a paper and I just saw the blank cursor on the screen. So, one of the things I just try to do is just knock out all the dialogue, then go back and punch it up in the spots where it needs to be.
Definitely. And that's what I found in my writing process. It's not necessarily the writing. There's a portion of it where, like, when I just free write for stand-up, where I just puke everything down on the page. I write a bunch on a specific topic, and then the editing is where the funny stuff happens.
Yeah, definitely, for sure.
But if you're like, this is a cool story, or it's like has some essence, you would hope that when you punch it up a little bit, it's better.
Definitely.
Let's see, writing process. What best case scenario 5 years? What does your life look like?
I'd love to be a comedian and actor out in Los Angeles, actually. Yeah. Being able to support myself off comedy and acting, that would be awesome.
Do you think you're going to make that jump and force that to happen?
Yeah, I'd like to.
What's your timeline, you think?
I don't know. I guess it's one of those things, once you really feel comfortable enough with at least the content you create, and you got some good things in the bank, like we were saying, screenplays or any type of writing, really. Yeah, maybe a couple years.
I'm gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
I think you do.
Try to get better at everything here, because Denver's such a great scene with, how many shows there are and open mics, and you can go see great comedy, and you can, go see great theater.
But we've talked about you're never going to make all your money off stand-up unless you get big in the movies or something,
Yeah, it's hard. Dude, even you look at Bill Burr, and like he's getting a few more acting gigs now and stuff. It's definitely a great place to start for sure.
Yeah, but then after a while, I mean, you do want to stretch your legs creatively, and I think you become stagnant if you don't push other types of material out, because we're just writers. I mean,
Steve Martin, had that joke. I can't remember. Goddamn. I led us somewhere, and I just fucking forgot.
You push us down this rabbit hole.
No, but Steve Martin, he was out of the stand-up game for a while.
Yeah, he just did stand-up like a couple months ago and said he loved it.
Yeah.
Something that's in your blood, and
I guess,
always is.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, I'm sure you're with the same mindset. You never really picture yourself ever stopping doing it.
I always wish I could.
Yeah.
In some senses,
Oh, yeah,
but
definitely.
I wish it was something I compulsively didn't have to do.
Yeah, eat shit, 3 open mics in a night.
But to be able to get this idea out, that is one of the freest forms of pure expression out there.
For sure.
Which is kind of sad sometimes, but it's also super real a lot of the times too.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything? I guess I haven't asked this, but I think you'd be a perfect person for this. What advice would you have for somebody that's starting out in comedy?
I definitely recommend just trying to hit all facets of comedy. Doing stand-up, doing improv, doing sketch, writing as much as you can, and just really don't limit yourself, because there's a lot of places to do comedy, and it's not necessarily just stand-up or improv or sketch. It's
you can go to music open mic and do stand-up or sketches.
Yeah, and it's
that's a terrible example.
Trying to think what I've definitely done stand-up at a music open mic before, though. But yeah, just don't limit yourself, and if something doesn't work, or if you're not getting good read from the crowd, or whatever you're struggling with, just stick it out, and if you truly love it, then you won't stop doing it. That's for sure.
We've talked about this. I feel like honestly it's something that you have to do. You don't.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. That's so cool. I think that's a perfect place to stop it. Before we get out of here, you want to give where people can find you on the internet?
Yeah, at Robert D. Abbott on Twitter. Then, as always, hit up at Agency Sketch, www.agencysketch.com.
Check them out. Words with Layman on Twitter, Words with Layman on Facebook. Guys, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you all soon.